Well, greetings everyone and welcome to another video. This video brings me down here to Oaks, Pennsylvania in Montgomery County, just outside of Phoenixville. And I am down here to document and show you some remains of two railroads that are down here. And if you remember from one of my previous videos when I was riding the Schuylkill River Trail, from Phoenixville down here to Oaks, and that video will be up there in the corner of the screen. I talked about the two railroads that went through this area here. So this is a industrial area slash retail business down here. This is the home to the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. I said it right this time. I always called it the Oaks Expo Center, but it is the home to that. There are a bunch of other businesses down here as well as retail stores, and this place was also home to a tire company back in the day, and I'm not quite sure of the name of the tire company, if it was Firestone or if it was BF Goodrich that was down here. In either case, I'll do the research in the editing and put the name of the tire company at the bottom of the screen there. So the two railroads that went through this area down here at one time was the Pennsylvania Railroad, which is what the Schuylkill River Trail follows for the most part. And there was also the Reading Railroad's Perkiomen line. And down here where it met up with the Reading Main Line, the area was known as Perkiomen Junction. So I showed the bridge in the other video where the Perkiomen line crossed over the Perkiomen Creek and came up here through this industrial complex, and it met the Pennsylvania line, and there was a diamond. And I have the exact location where the diamond was, and I'll show that to you here in a little bit. But once the Pennsylvania line was abandoned and torn out, they put a switch in and used that switch to switch from the Perkiomen to what was the old Pennsylvania Railroad that went over into Phoenixville, that serviced Phoenixville and down to Malvern, if you can follow all that there. So railroads back in the day did a lot of, served a lot of places. Two railroads serviced one area, but the Pennsy line was the one that went through Phoenixville, and then the Perkiomen went up through Collegeville and all the way up to Allentown. But yeah, when they pulled the tracks out of the Pennsy, they stuck a switch in, and they stuck the switch in so they could use the Perkiomen line yet, and then switch over to use the old Pennsy off the Perkiomen to go over into Phoenixville and down into Malvern. I know it sounds confusing, but anyway, we're gonna walk over here. I'm going to show you where the switch is, if it's still here yet. I'm hoping it's still here because this line is abandoned, and that's one of the reasons why the Schuylkill River Trail does not follow the Pennsy Railroad, because the tracks are still in yet, and technically it is, I believe, owned by Norfolk Southern now. I'm pretty sure of that. And then I'll show you where the diamond is, and they also have some old switchers that are sitting off to the side here along Station Avenue, and then I'll show you the Oaks station that was there for the Perkiomen line. So let's get started, get this little adventure going. So here is the old Perkiomen line that comes up through here and would have continued straight on, straight up there in the distance. You can see the locomotives that are on display there. They're actually sitting on where the railroad bed was. But after the Pennsy line was ripped out, they put this switch in that's right here in front of me, so they could go over and service Phoenixville and down to Malvern and everything. So I'll show you the alignment of where the Pennsy ran, that ran through this complex that's over here. And right there is the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center straight ahead there. And straight ahead off in the distance, that tall brown building over there is where the tire factory used to be. And one thing I should point out too, If you look at the alignment of the switch, the last time this switch was aligned, yes, it was aligned to head over into Phoenixville. Looking straight off in there, you can see they have a short piece of the track cut and severed. So there will never, shouldn't say never, but most likely there will never be any trains on that line there, which would have went up through the industrial complex up through Collegeville. I find it funny also that they have a stop sign here, railroad crossing, even though the tracks are pretty much gone for the most part. So right here in front of me, you can look down there and see the alignment. Way down there is the Pennsy line that comes up, comes right here in front of me. This is the exact location of where the diamond would have been at one time. And I'll put the old aerial photographs up there that you can see the diamond when it was here and what it's looking like today. There you can see the alignment for the Perkiomen line. And then where I'm standing, the Pennsy line would have continued straight on through where my finger's pointing out through there and ran right alongside of what is now the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center and goes down to that bridge that I showed in my previous video of the Pennsy line, the bridge that was repurposed, which is now an entrance and exit for the industrial complex here in the Expo Center. So here are some of the locomotives that are still left here from the railroad days. That are just sitting here. I don't even believe they are sitting on tracks anymore either. So they're just parked here on the ground, rusting away. And since I don't know my locomotives between the steam switchers and the diesels that are here, I'll have to look to see if there's any markings on these, to see if there's, if I can tell who the manufacturer was or anything. But there you can see the inside, the engineer's seat. Go around here to the other side. So if any of my fellow YouTubers out there, Nick, RJ, Jay, Jamie, you guys know what this is here, who the manufacturer was, because I can't find any markings on it. There's a plate there, but there is nothing on it. It is all gone. All right, gonna move back here to the next switcher. See if I can find any markings on this one, but this is something similar to what the Kempton Railroad has, the Wanamaker, Kempton, and Southern Railroad. This is something similar to their one engine that's up there. See if I can find the markings of the manufacturer for this one. But there's no moving the knuckle there or anything. That's long since been damaged. Well, it does move a little bit. Didn't think it did. Take a look inside there at the controls. I don't want to climb up on it or anything. I don't know if you're allowed to or not, so. So I doubt if this gas gauge, diesel gauge is correct here, but that is still showing about a half a tank of diesel in there. I can't believe that they would have left these tanks with diesel fuel in them just sit here like that. There was some markings on the side of it there, but it's so worn off and faded, you can't even make out any letters or anything. And I just took notice when I was walking around to the front here. They are not sitting on the ground. There are still rails in here yet, but being reclaimed by nature over the years. And this engine here, I just took notice, looks like this could have had a auger feeder feeding into the firebox there, maybe. Not quite sure, but that's what it looks like to me. Then here is the final switcher. Maybe we'll get lucky and find some markings on it for the manufacturer of this. There is a plate on the side. The only thing I can make out on it is WWK with a maybe a serial number on it. Everything else is spray painted all over, because I can't make out any of the letters there at all. Ah, there we go. Came around to the front. So this is a Whitcomb or Whitecomb, not sure the correct pronunciation of that there. Take a peek inside here. Doesn't look like there's much left there, but yeah, Whitcomb, I guess that is. Definitely has seen better days. came back around, stuck my head inside here. Probably can't see it that well, but on the plate there, the Whitcomb, Rochelle, Illinois is where it was manufactured. Coming up to the end here, we got some old flatbed cars that were probably used for something here in the area. Don't know what. And then this last little, I don't know if it's a switcher or an actual locomotive because I don't know my trains that good. And there is no markings on this either, but it does look like that is an eight-cylinder engine in there. The only thing that's on it is a sticker on there that says Train Tourist Railway Association. I don't know what that has to do with anything with this, but no markings on the outside or anything. There's the other side of the engine. Some serial numbers there, I believe, of the engine. So, not quite sure what this thing would have been used for here. Looking straight ahead is where the Perkiomen line would have continued on, and up there just to the left of Station Avenue, almost straight, where it would slightly curve and go in front of the Oak Station, which is out there at Station Avenue and Egypt Road, which we're going to go out there and check out. You still can see the depression from the railroad bed along Station Avenue yet where it was, but as far as tracks go, I'm pretty sure if there are any tracks left across over here in the grass, they are buried. So, not quite sure. This is the last I can see of anything along here. Nope, there is still, can still find some right down in there yet. So they are here, but they are covered up. So looking right here, they do have locks on this electrical box yet, and there's still crossings here, and the signs are up. Norfolk Southern does own this line yet and everything. So, and there is an electric meter on the box there. So there is still power coming to this box, but all along here you can see all the busted up wood and everything. So this would have been the you know, where the Pensy line came through here. No spikes or anything. But it does look like, and there is a plate there yet. Amazing that's still here. So right there is a concrete foundation to something. Looks like it could have been for a post, maybe even a signal, you never know. But here they have this track severed too, so nothing gets by here. And I'm looking to see if I can find any dates on this rail, but I'm not seeing anything. I did find some markings on this rail here, so I want to say that that is Carnegie, made in the USA, and I believe the numbers there say 1925 on them. So if that is true, then this rail is almost 100 years old, just shy of it. So this rail over here says Bethlehem Steel on it, behind all the shrubbery there, and the date on that looks like 1985. So I'll have to see if I can find any better markings here, but I don't think I'm going to. So that is weird. Carnegie and Bethlehem Steel rail. So this one here's got better markings on it. So Carnegie, R.E. Ohio Carnegie, I guess that's it. 1945 is the date on that. So essentially this line here could still be used yet, although it would take a lot of work to rework the track and the ballast and everything else. As you saw, they still have signals in and everything, so it still could be used, but we all know how Norfolk Southern is a lot like Conrail, and they don't want to deal with the little guys shipping small amounts of freight. All they want to do is deal with the big stuff, which is a shame. You got to rely on the smaller railroads to cater to the little guy there that only needs small amounts shipped by rail. So I'm taking a drive around the expo center here to see if there's anything interesting along the way, but over to the right there you can see the bridge there from the Pennsy line. And we'll make a turn here, and we should be on where the railroad used to be, up through here. Anyway, the Pennsy line either ran right here where we're driving, or ran over just to the left here where the trees are. And then would have continued straight on, either through the building or just to the right of the building there. And that building there, that is all part of the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. So we are back out on Station Avenue, and coming up here on the left, as soon as we go through this intersection where those trees are there, that is where the Perkiomen ran. That would be the railroad bed. Would have crossed over Station Avenue right here, ran to the right, and right here is the Oak Station. Not quite sure what this is used for anymore, but we'll stop in here and snap a few pictures. And it looks like they have a little locomotive sitting here too. So that is a Vulcan locomotive, and I believe that is narrow gauge there, that they have on display here at the old train station. And the train station is actually for rent. There's nobody occupying it right now. But that is a neat little locomotive. So the tracks for the Perkiomen would have came up where that traffic's coming from up there. Came right in front of the station here, and basically ran straight across over through there where that tree line is over there, because the grade is still here yet at the traffic light. Here you can see the back and the inside of it. Gauges are still pretty good yet on it. So not quite sure where this locomotive would have been used at or anything, but that's pretty cool. And even the mirror's still intact yet too. So we are going to leave this location, and I believe it's time to get the scooter out and hit the rail trail again. So one thing I want to point out too with the Perkiomen trail and everything, down here that does not follow the exact path of the railroad bed, obviously, because they couldn't get rights to it, because there's housing developments down here that are sitting on top of where the railroad bed used to be, and on the opposite side of 422 there's businesses over there, and the railroad bed was completely destroyed when they built 422. The housing developments and those businesses over there. The only thing that remains that I know of any signs of the railroad is an overpass that's over on, I think that's Black Rock Road over there, that goes over to Phoenixville. So that is the only clue that there was a railroad going through here at one time, through that area.